So I want to talk about the importance of electrolytes on a ketogenic diet. I'm not sure if you know this or not, but it's really the lack of electrolytes that are responsible for the keto flu, constipation when you do keto fatigue, cramping, and heart flutter or a palpitation, or even symptoms of heart arrhythmia. Let's go through a few reasons why this might be. Well, the first reason is this. When you run your body on glucose, 2.7 grams of water is needed for 1 gram of glucose. So when you're storing glucose as glycogen, you're holding like 3 times the amount of water. So glycogen, or stored glucose, is really a fluid-filled sponge. So when you lower your carbs and you get rid of the fluid, you're going to then get rid of the total volume of fluid and the electrolytes at the same time, because that's where the electrolytes are stored, in the fluid. And guess what? You may experience dizziness, weakness, tiredness, lightheadedness, and even cramps when you don't have enough electrolytes. So electrolytes would be like potassium, magnesium, calcium, sodium, phosphorus, chloride. These minerals, like magnesium, calcium, sodium, phosphorus, are fairly stable for the most part. In other words, your body can pull them from the bone, from the muscles very easily. But potassium does not have a storage. So potassium is a mineral that is needed in large quantities, yet your body does not retain it that well. But it definitely retains sodium. An average person is holding or retaining 8,000 milligrams of extra sodium. So when you're doing a fast, your body does become more conservative with minerals and vitamins, so you're not going to lose as much. But if you're already deficient and going into a fast, those symptoms are magnified. Or if you're doing prolonged fasting, you're going to definitely be deficient in some of these minerals. And another point I want to talk about is when you're doing keto, which is low carb, many times people do not consume a lot of vegetables because that's carbs, even though they're very low glycemic carbs and they're a lot of fiber. And we count net carbs, not total carbs. So if we're subtracting all the fiber, you're not getting as many carbohydrates as you might think. But when you don't get enough vegetables and you're not taking electrolytes, you're not going to get enough potassium. Potassium is needed to lower insulin. It's needed to improve insulin resistance. It's also needed for your gut. It's also needed for the peristalsis, or the pumping action of the colon, because most of these electrolytes, especially potassium, are needed for muscle contraction. So to have a normal bowel movement, you need potassium, magnesium, and definitely sodium, for a slightly different reason, because if you're getting rid of your fluid and you don't have enough fluid in your tissues or in your colon, that's going to cause dehydration and you're going to get constipation. So sometimes you need more potassium for constipation, sometimes you need more sodium, and even sometimes you might need magnesium. Now, the second reason why electrolytes are important is that electrolytes improve insulin resistance. And that is the goal of doing keto and IF in the first place, is to improve and balance out your insulin levels and fix insulin resistance. So you can improve this by lowering your carbohydrates, not eating as frequently, intermittent fasting, and taking electrolytes. So it speeds up the process without all the side effects. And lastly, you have the mitochondria. That's where all the energy production is happening. This is where your metabolism is located. And when you switch from running your body on glucose to fat burning, guess what? Your metabolism goes up. So the requirement for more electrolytes goes up too, simply because the mitochondria needs certain electrolytes and minerals to run the machine. So in summary, you have a couple options. You can take electrolytes, or you can consume foods with electrolytes. And the main foods you want to focus on, in addition to the moderate protein and higher fat, are these things called vegetables. Hey, before you leave, I just wanted to give you a little quick history on some of the books that I wrote. This was one of the first books. It's called Dr. Berg Body Shapes. It was my attempt at writing about body types. What was very interesting about this book is I actually did all the images myself. Don't ask me why. They look actually not quite as professional as some of the images that I have in the new book. But anyway, this is my first attempt right here, called Dr. Berg's Body Shape Diets. And then I wrote a book, more extensive, called The 7 Principles of Fat Burning. I don't even have a copy anymore, actually, because it's outdated. The next book, I put about 1,000 hours into this one right here, called The New Body Type Guide. Major updates on the body types. I put a lot of energy into this. It has professional images, graphics, all sorts of things. Now, the problem with this book is it doesn't really describe what this is really about. Body types are only a small portion of what's in this book. And that's why I changed the name to the Healthy Keto Plan, okay? If you happen to have this book, you don't really need this book because there's some only very, very minor updates. But if you don't have this, you need to get this one right here. This book goes into every single detail that you would ever want to know about. It goes into the 7 principles of fat burning. It goes into hormones, the body types, the basic keto plan. It goes into intermittent fasting. I talk about the 10 fat burning triggers and blockers and fat burning strategies with a lot of details in every single chapter. I go into body issues that interfere with losing weight. There's very few people that just have a weight problem. They have a lot of body issues, whether it's sleeping problems, stress problems, inflammation, menopause. I cover that extensively in this book. Then I talk about how to get rid of stress, and I show you a technique. Then I get into exercising. And then I have a lot of really good recipes in this book as well. So this is a good reference guide. On my website, if you get this book, you get this one free. It's called Healthy Keto Intermittent Fasting. This is the shortcut, quick guide to this book. And the reason I created this book is to have you, within 45 minutes, learn how to do keto, okay, in intermittent fasting, exactly what you need to do. Then you can fill in the blanks with this book right here. So right now I'm doing a special. If you get this book, you get this one totally free, or you can go to Amazon and get these individually. So I just want to clarify the difference between this book and this updated one right here. If you don't have this, you need to get this right here. That way you can get the exact correct information to do it healthily.